Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say Call Allah Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praise, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father. In the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, right? I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles that labor in this truth before me and taught me this truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect. Hey, man, I want to talk about this video I saw with this brother, Young Goldie, I believe. Young Goldie. He's talking to some dude, and the guy is saying, basically, man, you're not a real man if you don't provide 100% for your woman or for a woman, right? Or if basically saying, man, you got to have money to be a man, right? And that's just going off, man. A man is way more than his money, right? Especially nowadays, you talking about providing 100% for a woman that's not doing nothing to provide for the house, right? These women nowadays don't even know how to be women, and from the words these people say, it's apparent, it's abundantly clear that they don't know how to be men, right? Because a man got nothing to do with your money, right? So you gonna tell me you only a man where you got money in your pocket? So when you ain't got money, what is you, right? I don't understand, man. Your balls are gone when your wallet's empty. Don't make much sense, bro. That's why it's important to be led by the scriptures, not by this queen of heaven spirit where you got to go, hey, I got to work my fingers to the bone, come home and run this woman bath water, cook and clean for her. Nah, bro. Y'all got to have standards, and it's a team, man. You know what I mean? The man and woman work together. That's how the Most High set it up, right? So I'm going to start here in the book of St. Matthew chapter 11 and verse 7. It says, "And as they departed, Yahweh Shai began to speak unto the multitudes concerning John. What went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are in the king's house," right? So he's saying, hey, man, John the Baptist, that man, he wasn't rich. He didn't look like he had paper. He was living in the wilderness with a rough garment, of camel hair, and eating locusts and honey, bro. This man was damn near homeless, man, living in the wilderness, right? Verse 9, "But what went ye out to see? A prophet? Yeah, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written, behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee," right? "Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of a woman, there hath not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he," right? So John the Baptist is one of the greatest prophets to do it, right? He wasn't leaning on his money. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't basing his manhood on how big his banking account was. No, man, he just went out and did the work of the Lord, and that's what made him great, right? And he's going to inherit a great kingdom, right? And they said the least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he, right? Especially the elect members, man. When you do this work and put yourself in position, you're going to have eternal riches, not the riches of this world with this fiat currency that's worthless, man. It's basically toilet paper, right? This money is not even worth the paper it's printed on, right? You're going to break your back for these green papers that's got dead slave masters on it, man. That's what you're basing your worth on, right? Your oppressor's money, right? Nah, bro. Your manhood is much more than that. It's really, sum it up, it's your principles. That's what make you a man, right? This is the book of Isaiah chapter 53. I'm gonna start at verse 1. "Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yahweh revealed? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground. He have no form of comeliness, and when we see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him," right? So I'm gonna read verse 2 in the NLT, right? It says, "My servant grew up in Yahweh's presence like a tender green shoot, like a root in dry ground. There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance, nothing to attract us to him," right? So this is basically talking about like his raiment, man. You know what I mean? He wasn't dressed like a king. He didn't have jewels everywhere, man, shining, right? You know what I mean? Shining like a light bulb. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't looking like that. This is talking about Yahweh Shai, the Messiah, man. He was humble, right? He came looking meek, right? To do the work so that he can get the glory in the next life. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, you going to tell us that you greater than Messiah because you got some jewels, man? Because you got a little bit of money to trick off on these broads, right? These women that's been, I mean, come on, man. These women have had multiple husbands, you know what I mean? If it's a woman, the truth, you know, a righteous woman, hey, that's one thing. Of course, you're going to take care of that woman. But these dudes talking about women that only care about your money. That's a harlot, man. She looking at your bank account and what you can do for her, not who you are as a man. That's a harlot, man. Right? And a true woman, she's going to be more than what she can get from a man, right? Because her presence is going to demand more. You know what I'm saying? You going to want to provide for a righteous woman. But these women today, they really don't know how to be a woman, right? If she's not guided by the wisdom of the Most High God, hey, you're feeding this woman in vain. You know what I'm saying? You're really not going to get the full potential of a woman, right? And it's because of who you are as a man, right? You see yourself as your money. That's all you're going to care about, right? Having a woman there that, you know what I mean, maybe she give you some cat, maybe she don't. But if you base your value on how much money you have, when she finds a man with more money, guess where she's going? With that nigga, man. Right? So this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 30, and I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, 2 things have I required of thee. Deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is Yahweh? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my God in vain. Right? So we're not out here to try to get as much money as possible, man. You should just get your daily bread, man. You know, you can try to get more comfortable. That's cool. But that's not the whole point, right? You get too much money, you're going to deny the Lord. If you got too little, you're going to steal, and you know what I mean, be found a sinner. Right? So you just want to get your daily bread, man. There's more to life than getting all this money. You know what I'm saying? What about your principles? What about who you are as a man, right? Because there's been many goofies with a whole bunch of money. There's many goofies with a bag, right? So why are you worrying about how much money you got all the time? That should not be the forefront of your mind. You should be getting skills so you can work with your hands so you can feed your family. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to, you denying the Lord to get more money, right? Now, you want to work 7 days a week. Now you ain't got time to go do the work of the Lord. You ain't got time to study. You ain't got time to pray, man. You denying the Lord, man. Right? And that's going to lead to your own destruction, right? You're going to have your reward on this side. All right, so let's get this in 1 Kings chapter 2 and verse 1, right? It says, now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, right? He's going to show you, King David's going to explain to you what a man is, right? It says, verse 3, and keep the charge of Yahweh thy God to walk in his ways and his statutes, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest thyself. Right? So it's telling you right now, hey man, you keep the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what being a man is. Standing on your principles. Right? You gotta stand on your principles, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this where Solomon asks for wisdom. Right? Because yes, First King. Because we know King Solomon was the wise one. He was one of the wisest men to ever walk the earth, right? And he had great riches, man, and a beautiful kingdom. But he ended up turning his back to the Lord. Why? Through women, right? He started to follow the women that he was getting with. He was following their gods. Why? Because he has 700 wives, 300 concubines. You know what I'm saying? And he you know what I mean? He fell off. Let me see here. Right, so I'm going to start. This is 1 Kings 3. And I'm going to start at 5. In Gibeon, Yahweh appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God asked, what shall I give thee? Verse 6. And Solomon said, thou hast shown unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according to as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on the throne as it is this day. And now, O Yahweh, my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in, right? Solomon was coming in a meek spirit, right? Verse 8. And thy servant is in the midst of the people of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad, for who is able to judge this thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor has asked the life of thine enemies, but has asked for thyself understanding and discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. Right? In verse 13, and I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. Right? So basically, Solomon asked for wisdom, right? When the Most High God could have gave him anything. He asked for wisdom, and it pleased the Most High God so much that guess what? Yahweh blessed him with everything else, man. Everything else he was going to need. He's, you know what I mean? And things he didn't even need. Gave him riches, gave him a great kingdom, right? He went out and had all these beautiful women, right? All because he put the Most High God first. He put wisdom first, right? Eventually he fell off. But you know what I mean? The point is, he did what he had to do, you know what I mean, to receive, you know what I mean, a great kingdom, right? And that's what? Being guided by wisdom, right? And this is another proverb. This is wisdom coming from Solomon right here. In Proverbs 31:3 says, give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings, right? And you trying to get all this money just to please a woman, right? You know, because most men, hey, they're cool with just having their daily bread, right? You know what I mean, have some nice clothes, maybe a nice whip, nice house, being comfortable. Right, you trying to go above and beyond. Why? To please these women. Now you got to get the Jag. Now you got to get the the Maybach. Right, you got to have designer on. Man, you killing yourself, bro. You know what I mean? You know you can't afford that. And even if you can, what's the point of having all that? And I mean, it's cool to have a little bit. If you know what I mean, if you got expensive taste, all right, go ahead, man. But if it's causing you to turn your back to the Lord, right? And if you're doing it for women, you're turning your back to the Most High, right? Because what should be attracting women is your principles, who you are as a man, your wisdom, right? The way you move. That's what should attract the woman. She should love who you are, not what you got on, man. You know, this is the book of Proverbs chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, my son, keep thy father's commandment and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart and tie them about thy neck. When thou goest, it shall lead thee. When thou sleepest, it shall keep thee. And when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life, right? Hey, the commandments, wisdom is gonna make you shine, man. Make a man's face to shine, right? Verse 24, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman, right? And y'all getting flattered and finessed by these strange women, man. You thinking that you gotta bend over backwards to provide for this woman, right? Don't get me wrong, you should provide for a woman, but what is she providing to you, right? Y'all doing this just to get some coochie. That's all you want, man. You don't require nothing from a woman, right? She just sit around all day and you just come and, wallet already. You already given her wallet. She hadn't even earned nothing from you, right? Just like with a woman, man, that man should earn something from you, and it shouldn't be by his pocket. He should earn it by the way he conducts himself, right? You should try that man. You got to prove that man, just like a man should prove a woman, right? What's in her heart? What's in their mind, right? That's the most important thing. Verse 25, lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids, right? Y'all see a woman with a BBL, you be ready to give her the whole bag, man. No, don't lust after her beauty. It's good to, hey, she looks good to the eye. She pleases to the eye. Now you got to get to know what's in her mind, right? You can't just credit this woman because she looked good, man. I mean, she could be a beautiful demon, man. She could be beautiful trash, man. You know, you got to try that woman. Same thing with these women. Hey, you can't just look at a nigga what he's driving. No, what's in this man's mind? Because we know, hey, if you're a woman in this truth, sex is marriage. So you've been deceived by what this man had. You come to find out he didn't rented the car. He got a roommate. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's not who you thought he was, and he don't got the characteristics to become the man that you want him to be, right? You find out this nigga is just a bum with jewelry on, and come to find out all of his jewelry's fake. He don't got no principles. He's easily swayed, right? You don't want to be around no man like that. Verse 26, for by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life, right? And y'all niggas, man, hey, you going to be brought to a piece of bread. Why? Because y'all got that Queen of Heaven spirit, man. You know what I mean? Work my fingers to the bone, come home, and all she doing is laid up. She don't even want to wash no dishes. That's the type of woman y'all getting, man. BBL butt models, man. You know what I'm saying? But bird brains, right? You got to stand up. You got to step your morals up, man. This is Jeremiah 44 and 18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things, and we have been consumed by the sword and by famine, right? You know what I'm saying? And Queen of Heaven, man, you know, that's a spirit that's permeated in America, right? You look at the Statue of Liberty, Columbia, right? Y'all got the black woman is God spirit on you, man. Instead of worshiping the Most High, and He will give you a woman, man, a worthy woman. No, y'all niggas want to worship the Queen of Heaven, right? Let me see if I can find some on the Queen of Heaven, right? Right. So, hey, the Queen of Heaven goes into Isis, goes into Asherah, right? And these are like fertility goddess, man. These are the type of goddess like Venus. You would go to a temple and you would do you'd have sex with a temple prostitute, right? You would give her money, have sex with her, and hope to get fortune from these guys, man. That's that Queen of Heaven spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this in St. Luke 12, right? And on that, man, that goes back to Jezebel, right? She was obsessed with antinomianism, right? Being against the law, being lawless, right? That Queen of Heaven spirit is lawless, right? Imagine you in the Garden of Eden, right? You Adam, and you want to follow Eve. That's what these niggas want to do. They want to follow Eve, man, instead of, you know what I'm saying, standing on your principles and making sure the woman that's with you, you know what I mean, she's going to stand on what you stand on. And if she don't stand on what you stand on, nigga, you don't change because of her. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all be doing, man. You know what I mean? That's where this whole mindset comes of, I got to give this woman all my money and she don't got to do nothing. Right? That comes from worshiping the women. Right? Only person you should worship, you need to be worship Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man, doing what you can to make sure you're in good graces with the Most High God, because there's going to be a time, man, where, hey, this money not going to save you, right? Money is a defense, but wisdom shall save your life, right? This is the book of St. Luke, chapter 12, and verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consists not of the abundance of things which he possesses, right? Hey, man, that's it, bro. You got to make sure you locked in, you know what I mean? Make sure your character is right, bro. That's the most important thing. Make sure your character is right, and making sure you're doing what's right in the eyes of the Most High God, man. Hey, show thyself a man. Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability, man. Stay in the scriptures and be washed by the water of the word, man. Hey. And that's all I got to say. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Until next time, shalom.